I'm Bailey Bates. Here are your headlines from Central Texas. Big news for music fans. Post Malone and Jelly Roll are making a stop in Waco, a city that's putting itself on the map as a live music hotspot. Our city walker tells us how Waco is proving itself to be more than the home of the Baylor Bears.
Jelly Roll just won 3 Grammys.
I thought it was so cool.
Yeah. Post Malone has been nominated 18 times.
I didn't think that, big names could come to Baylor.
Now they're coming to Waco.
Maybe after Post Malone, maybe other people will, other artists will join in.
Waco is making itself known as a concert city.
There's live music here all the time.
Jason Cook with Baylor said Waco isn't a stranger to music, but they got a recent boost.
For all intents and purposes, it really put Waco on the map in terms of big live music stadium shows.
The Boys from Oklahoma concert at McLean drew in 37,000 fans.
Lots of people in the industry knew that we were open for concerts of that caliber.
Now they're hosting 2 global superstars, a dream Cook says they had when building McLean a decade ago.
It's like a Rubik's Cube because you're trying to figure out what your availabilities are, what you can afford, where artists are, what would be a good fit.
Good for Baylor, good for the city, and great for local artists.
A pipeline of opportunity for Waco-based artists as well as fans.
Fiona Bond with Creative Waco said it's proof of what she's always known.
People told me, oh, it's great, you're so close to Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth, you can go and see really great things in all of those places. And my response has always been no. The advantage is that those people get to come to Waco.
Whether you're on your first album or 3rd Grammy.
The stadium, the pavilion, the backyard, all of our music venues are, yes, presenting local, but also they're presenting people who have global credentials.
Well, Baylor says their hope is to eventually have 1 or even 2 big shows at McLean Stadium a year, plus several shows a year over at Foster Pavilion. Texas is preparing for a new threat facing the cattle industry. The governor issued a statewide disaster declaration as New World screwworm cases in Mexico move closer to the Texas border. Our Juliana Jackson tells us why state officials say they're not waiting for it to cross the border.
They're less than 200 miles away from the South Texas border, and that essentially means they're on to Texas's doorstep.
Tracy Tomasic with Texas Farm Bureau says over the last 6 months, a lot has changed. Governor Greg Abbott's disaster declaration gives the Texas New World screwworm response team access to all state resources.
Pets, cats and dogs, and even humans, so all different mammal species with warm blood are susceptible to the pest.
Tomasic says sterile flies are being produced at a facility in Panama, then flown all the way to Mexico for distribution.
Secretary of Agriculture has preemptively, and rightfully so, stopped the importation of beef cattle from Mexico so that we're not incentivizing moving potentially infested animals further north into the U.S.
That decision, combined with the smallest U.S. cow herd in decades, means consumers are feeling the impact at the grocery store.
A lower supply of it compared to recent history when we had extremely high supplies of beef and really much lower prices.
Governor Abbott is partnering with the USDA on a new $750 million sterile screwworm production facility in Edinburgh. For now, state officials say the focus is on keeping screwworm out of Texas.
This is an all of agriculture issue. We're doing our best and proud to work with the agencies to be prepared for it when it comes in.
Well, the screwworm isn't on Texas soil yet, but ranchers and livestock owners are encouraged to report any suspected infestations immediately to state officials. Those are your headlines from Central Texas.